Just to tell you, I didn't do anything illegal, okay? One thing I know, it's going to be heavy. Hi guys, so I promised you some time ago that I'm going to do Q&A on my channel, and now that there is a lot of new people, I feel like this is the correct time. And I have been putting it off because I just thought that it will be boring, especially if I will be just sitting and talking. So I prepared some little DIY project that I have been putting off for so long. For sure it's going to be more entertaining for you, I'm hoping, and also finally I will be done with this project. Some time ago I thrifted this little stand. It costed me exactly €1. I think you will not recognize what will come out of it. I did a couple of steps in advance, so I will not make too much noise here and I can peacefully talk and answer your questions. So let me show you how this stand looks right now. Basically it's all prepped and now I can just start. For those who are interested, what I did here exactly is very simple. I just cut 4 pieces of MDF like this one, and I used screws to attach it to the legs of the table, and then I used some filler just to fill the gaps because it's the first time I'm doing something like this and I didn't really count it properly. So as a first I picked up this sheet of rocks from shop very similar to Home Depot, and I thought I'm going to use all of these and just apply them on each side, also on the top, but I just bought one first because I just wanted to do top at the beginning and then I changed my mind. And when I went to shop again, the price went from €5 to €8, and I thought that no, I can't do this. It's just for fun, this project, and I really want to keep it as low budget as possible. So I basically went to our beach, picked up some rocks. By the way, just for the record, it's not forbidden on our beach. I know there are many places where it is forbidden to pick up rocks, so just to tell you, I didn't do anything illegal, okay? Let's apply the first side and let's start answering your questions. So the first question was, do you have any other hobbies besides sewing? I thought it would be nice to start with this question, as you see I'm doing something completely else than sewing, and the answer is yes. I do have other hobbies. The sewing is the thing that makes me the happiest. I just love it. It's something I never knew I need in my life so much. But of course, from time to time I like to try different things because I think that it is important for creative person to try different medias and just completely different things, because you never know how much it can inspire you. So I try to do some crochet, knitting. I have one video and I'm planning another one very soon. I like to do painting. I have to say not very often, and if I do, it's mostly just to create some decorative pieces for our apartment, or especially for this room, because here I can be as crazy as I want, as creative, as colorful, because this is my office. What else? What I like? I love plants. I'm not the best at it, but I try. I really like house plants. I did try some embroidery before. I will show you example here, but it's just taking so much time and I don't know if I have that much patience, and I'm not really good at it. I have a friend who recently started with some embroidery projects, and she is really good at it. Like, I'm impressed by her. Of course, as I am just doing right now, I like to do little DIY projects around home with the furniture, and maybe upcycling some old flower pots that I find in a thrift store. One thing that I did, and I'm really proud, was our wedding invitations. Of course, I was inspired by some already existing ones, but the watercolor painting of the flowers I did it myself, and then also I did the design in the Photoshop. So this is something that I was really happy that I decided to do, because now I am going to have really nice memory for the rest of my life. Yeah, So would you be, by the way, interested seeing me doing other things than just sewing? Because I think personally I would be interested to do from time to time some other things, you know, just to keep it fresh. So let me know in the comments if that sounds interesting to you. I'm really hoping that this table is going to turn out nice. One thing I know, it's going to be heavy. So now I'm going to take this thingy and just scratch the surface of this, and then I can go through my rocks and start to apply them on the top. So let's move to the second question. What is your career? Okay, this is an interesting question. So it's a little bit more complicated, right? I studied for the high school. I went to a specialized high school for art. It's called School of Applied Art, where I studied graphic design. So this was my high school education, and then I continue to the university, where I basically studied art, and I became just generally art and became a teacher for elementary schools, schools that are specialized for art. I can teach on high schools that are specialized for art, just like mine was. Yeah, so basically I am an art teacher by what I studied, but just very quickly after my studies was finished, I think it was even before the state exams and before I got my title, I found a job, I signed the contract, and as soon as I was finished with my studies, with my diploma and everything, and all the papers were ready, because this was a very long and complicated process, I went to Middle East, more specifically Saudi Arabia, where I worked for almost 4 years as a flight attendant. So this was my career before. It was really difficult job, physically and mentally, but I'm really proud of myself because I found this job without anyone's help. I went to a country that I didn't know a lot, and the country that is so much more different from what I'm used to. There was a lot of struggles, of course, but I met a lot of amazing people there. I got a lot of experience. I learned a lot of discipline, self-discipline, because in this type of job you really have to be organized and disciplined. And today I am officially unemployed, as I met my husband in Saudi Arabia. He is French, and that's why we are currently living in France. His mission at the work has ended, and so I had to do my decision what will be my next step. So I decided to quit my job in Saudi Arabia and follow him. So I tried to answer more simple way, but I guess this is the most simple way I could answer this question. I mean, in a certain way I can say that I am teaching right now, but of course there are limits into this, because I myself, as you know, I am beginner at sewing. I will always say that, because just 2 years and a half, something like that, I really didn't know anything. I went a long way, and today I am maybe teaching some of you. I'm sure many of you are better than me, so I guess I am kind of teacher. So far it's going really well. I hope it will not take one full day for this side to dry in order that I can continue to the other side. So fingers crossed. I have to say this is really fun. I didn't expect it that I would like it so much. First side is dried, not fully, just enough that I can turn it to the other side and continue, and the stones will not slide down. So let's do the next side, and let's continue with another question, which is what inspired you to start YouTube? So some of you have probably seen that there are some very old videos about makeup, which was originally subject of my channel, and I started it just after I came from Saudi Arabia. At that time of my life, this was the subject that I was interested in. In my company we had to always keep a certain type of makeup and a manicure and this kind of stuff, so it was a really subject of my daily life. But as my life continued and I was surrounded by completely different circumstances, different society, I started to live completely different lifestyle, which I'm really not complaining. I was not interested in it anymore, so I stopped doing that. And to be honest, I stopped for maybe 2 years. I really was down. I didn't know what I want to do in my life. I completely lost my creative side, which I thought at that point of my life that I would never get back because I wasn't so interested in drawing and graphic design anymore. So I was a little bit sad, I'm not going to lie, but YouTube was always on my mind. It was something like a creative outlet for me. I really kept it in back of my mind that maybe one day I will come back to it, but I just had nothing to give, you know. But then not long before confinement, my husband got me my first sewing machine, which I'm using until today. I was always interested in it, but I never had, like my mom, she doesn't know how to sew, she's not really interested into it. The only person in my family that can sew is my aunt. I'm not so much around her anymore. I don't know. What I'm trying to say, I started by myself, learning from YouTube, and the first thing I did was to shorten the curtains. Okay, let's make it shorter. I started sewing, I fell in love with it, I started to learn, and quite fast because I was really into it, and I am until today. And then I thought, okay, maybe this is the thing that I want to share, maybe share some advice. Plus my husband is an engineer, and his work is, there are chances to be moved to another country and not just one in our life. So this kind of like opportunity to find myself again and maybe have a chance to create some job that I could just take away with us, and wherever the life will take us very easily without losing my job. You know, YouTube, you can take it with you, so this is kind of the reasons I was ever inspired to start YouTube. And okay, let's move to next question. What is something you would like to sew but you are intimidated by? Okay, so there is a lot of things that I would like to sew. Of course, I realize my level, I take it into consideration, but of course I like some challenge for myself because this is the only way how I can improve my skills, by challenging myself and trying new things. But definitely there is a couple of projects that I just postpone because I'm just too afraid to even try. And I know some of you don't get this mentality, and maybe some of you can relate, but this is the side of me that is always trying to be such a perfectionist. And maybe it sounds stupid, maybe it doesn't sound very logical, but this is exactly the reason it stops me many times from trying anything, because I'm just afraid that I will fail and it will not be perfect. I know it's stupid, but this is just the way it is. So the project that I would like to try but I am intimidated by is definitely big gown with a boning, with the cups that I would have to make by myself. It's really technical and structural garment that requires special materials. If you watched my free pattern video, then you know I mentioned that I'm afraid to sew pants. It's not easy to make a good fit, but what I'm afraid more is actually sewing a fly. And honestly, like, I sound ridiculous at this point, I know, I just have to do it. I feel like I did more complicated things, so I don't know why this scares me so much. I have no idea. Now I'm putting quite a lot of this product, but the stones are just not the same thickness. So I was thinking if I put a thicker layer, I would be able to level them better, you know, by pushing some of them deeper. Another question that one of you asked me was what type of thread I recommend. You probably know there is a lot of different types of thread for different materials, but generally for most of projects that I'm making, I will be just using a simple polyester thread. I have a good experience with it. I am exclusively using Gutermann thread, so this is what I would really recommend to everyone. There are certain things that you shouldn't save, like for example the thread, and it's not so expensive, you know. There are other things that comes with sewing that are more expensive, like sewing machine, for example. This can make your sewing experience so much different. The last thing that you need to struggle with is thread. So I kind of went ahead by myself without taking you, but I just wanted to check if it will work. It looks like it's working, so we're just gonna continue. I'm going to finish this top. I have to be honest, there is one side without the stones, because tomorrow I'm going to fly back to Slovakia, so I probably don't have enough time to finish it, but don't worry, you are going to see the final product. Without rambling, let's just continue to the questions. I see that the next question is YouTube something that you do full-time or you have other official job? And I think that I already answered this question by answering the other one. Yeah, I mean, I don't have right now any full-time job, any official job, so what I am doing here is basically it. Of course, if you also have your YouTube channel, you know that there is a lot behind things that you don't see on camera, so there is a lot of little things and bigger things. They take up your time, but I really hope that one day this can be my job, because I would fulfill my promise that I gave to myself, that I really want to be this lucky person to have a job that I love, that I'm passionate about. So I'm really hoping that this will become one day my full-time job. So I guess this is the answer for the question. I know somebody also asked me if I studied fashion design before, and I already answered this question basically by answering what I studied. So as you know, no, I didn't study fashion design, and I kind of wish I did. I mean, I don't regret what I studied, but if I ever knew how much I would love sewing, definitely to have more information, more professional look into this. I think it could be really valuable for me today, but you never know what's going to happen in future, and looking back to past and regretting things is not really a proper way to go. So, but I definitely want to have more education in this subject, which is really huge when you think about it. I just don't think it's going to be like official education. Maybe I'm going to take some pattern making classes, because this would be really valuable for me. By the way, if you do this at home, I suggest that you use gloves, but I don't have any, so I mean, I see the other people who are really successful on YouTube, and many of them have the fashion design education, and that's great for them, because they basically there is nothing to stop them. They know what to do, they know how to do, while me, I'm just kind of guessing and doing a lot of mistakes. But yeah, this is how it is today, but it doesn't mean that I am going to stop. I have to say that I tried to be more precise with this application at the beginning when I started, but I just realized that it will take me probably a week to do so. So basically that's why I'm just slapping this on and saving myself a lot of time like this. I hope it's going to dry nicely. I hope it's not going to crack. And I'm really happy that I didn't spend a lot of money on this project, because it's not always that you have to go and get some expensive materials, and the most important is that I am having fun. And be sure that I am. Do you guys also make some DIY projects at home, or do you have some other hobbies other than sewing? I would really love to know something about you as well. You know, it's nice to get to know each other. And the last question, and after that I will let you enjoy the rest of your day, is if I have any plans in future for this channel, or what are my plans actually. And my biggest dream would be one day having the patterns that I made, and seeing people making these clothes and sharing it with me, and I hope that we can achieve this here on this channel one day. And I know that you always hear this from other YouTubers, to like their videos and comment and even share, subscribe, and I know it gets annoying for some of you for sure. I can totally understand it, but on the other hand, this is the only way how you can really support someone here on YouTube, and it's for free. It costs you nothing, just a couple of seconds, and that would mean the world to me. Okay, so I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to style it for you. At least I'm going to try. And I would just like to say thank you to everyone who subscribed to my channel from beginning, and thanks to so many of new people here on my channel. I know you keep saying to me that you are so happy that you found my channel. Believe or not, I'm more happy than you that you found me and you subscribed. So welcome again, and I hope you will stay and you enjoy my content, and I hope by this video you feel you got to know me a little bit better. And I guess see you soon.